Hey, I'm Captain Eddie Castle and welcome to the shop. Today, a little bit of ornamentation. Ornamentation that you can do. Yeah. We're going to create something like this. You can make it an ornament, a light catcher, something to go on a pole chain for a fan, just to hang there and aggravate your wife, whatever. This is a combination of concentric and eccentric turning. Yeah, let me show you another one. This is made out of Castillo boxwood. This is almost cheating when you turn this stuff. So sweet. This is the concentric turning with a series of circles emanating from a single point. This is eccentric emanating from a point that's off center. Now Heinz Wasflug does some absolutely gorgeous work. He did something at the AAW Symposium, and there's some videos of some of his demonstrations on how do you do this. Well, today we're going to do it two ways. Yeah, we're going to do one on a one-way, and we're going to do another on Lathezilla, an ornamental lathe. Yeah, I got a rig for doing them both. Watch. Let's get started with the basics. I took a piece of Castillo boxwood. I made it about a ½ inch thick. I glued it onto a faceplate. The faceplate's got a depression in the center, just like this one, to where I'm only using a little rim of glue. All my faceplates are that way, or waste blocks are that way, so you're only holding on a rim. Either wood moves, it doesn't pop it off. Okay, enough of that. This is going to go in my one-way chuck. Now, this chuck is almost identical to the one that's on Lathezilla, so it's going to hold it the same way, but that's where I start with on the other piece. So just so you know, when I start the other one, it's almost the same thing. I do a disc, make it totally round, and we'll get to that. Alright, now I have this in here. This will be my first cuts on the eccentric. The tool I'm going to use, and I like to say I sell these, but I don't. But you can pick them up almost anywhere. It's six-sided, it's really good tool steel, it sharpens nicely, and it's called an Allen set wrench. This happens to be a 1/8 inch. Now what I did, and I can't get you close enough I believe to show you this, but I'll try. Taking a closer look at the tool, this is the Allen wrench. You can see on the bottom of what I call the bottom, I flattened that peak so it would ride flat on the tool rest. Then I took it to the grinder and I ran up and created a bevel. Then I turned it over on the same grinder, 80 grit wheel, and put a negative rake on it. And I made sure it was very square across the edge. Now, that's all you really need. Your tool is made. Now, let's recap a little bit about what I'm going to do here. I've got the speed on the lathe at about 1800 RPMs. I've got my tool rest. You can see I am below center. I'm going to raise my tool rest to just at center. Let me take a look at it here. See, that's center. And I'm going to lay out my marks using this. Now, watch how this happens. At the slowest speed, I'm just going to feel a corner, feel a corner. Now, I can see where that groove is. I don't know if you can get in there close enough to... The automatic zoom thing on this camera is going to be difficult with that. Then I'm going to step over. See what the next one is. If you feel better with doing this with a pencil, that is 1/8 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch. I wouldn't advise going any tighter. Now, if you want to get tighter, start tighter and work your way out. But that's essentially what we're going to end up with right here. I just cranked it up We're traveling at about 3,300 RPMs. Gonna hold my tool. You gotta have a good grip on it. And I'm gonna hold it down on the tool rest very snugly. Oh yeah. There's a little notch on my tool that tells me that I'm gonna be about halfway through that piece. It's good to put a reference mark. I'm gonna go in here. It's a pure de-scraping cut. Stop short of that mark. Short again. I gave up on my lines because my eyes told me it was off. When you get deep, you feel the chatter. Now I'm going to step in a little bit because my eyes tell me I'm off a little. That's it. That's number one cut. I backed it down to about 1,800 RPMs again. I have all that stuff on there, the pencil marks and all. I will not be able to get back to this concentrically. How do you like that, huh? Which means when I leave this, I won't be able to come back to it spinning circular, round, like this. So I'm going to sand it. That was 320, 400 pad, automotive product by those folks. One of my wood turning buddies is in the automotive paint business and he sells these pads. Boy, they're really handy. Little piece of 320 grit paper, one of those little 2-inch pads. Now that is done. It's really done. It's looking nice. I'll probably take a little 400 to this just because it's Castillo boxwood and it'll burnish up real nice. Or here's the tip. I'm going to turn the pad around. Take that felt pad, clean this off and burnish it a little. It's getting hot under the finger. In fact, probably going to lose my fingerprints again. So that is cleaned off, polished off, nicely done. Stage 1 of the concentric. The next step is to remove it from the glue block very carefully. The bumps you hear is the glue building up on the parting tool. That's what I have. This is easy to lap off on a sanding block, or take a utility knife and clean up that. The next step is to turn the eccentrics. What I have here is a heavy face plate. I put a piece of 3/4 inch plywood on the plate with screws. Then I put a piece of MDF on the face of it. But first, I double stick glue, put the face plate on. I turned a hole in the center that would match my piece. All right, very, very close to it. Okay, now, then I moved it off center and reset it to the distance I wanted off center. So as you can see, I'm just a notch off center. I could have moved this in, out, anyway to get the turns I want it on the back side. Then I stuck this on. It's only on with double stick tape. So I could unglue it and move it. Why do I do this? Because once this is on, I essentially have the same weight of wood spinning round and round, and I don't harm my bearings, I don't get vibration, and I don't have problems. So that's what I'll do. Let's check. I have to mention that every time I do one of these operations, I set the set screw in my chucks. Not enough wood to keep it going, and then when you stop, there's enough energy to back it off a little bit. That's vibration, guys. That's what vibration That's where vibration comes from. Now, this is that double stick duct tape. And I use 2 little strips. Why? Because I have fought getting these pieces back out. Oh, by the way, see those 2 holes? Those 2 holes are coming in from the back side. They help us get this disc back out. If you forget those 2 holes and you do this, when you're trying to get this disc out, you're going to say, wow, that Eddie is a freaking genius. Just not a genius, a freaking genius. No dust. Put that in place. Now with the lathe spinning this way, if there's any slack, I want it to be pushed up that way. Now you can put a clamp on this, push your tailstock against it. You can do a half a dozen things. But in about 5 minutes, that puppy's on there and it isn't water. I'm going to move an 1/8 off and start. So that's an 1/8. So I'm going to start doing my quarters. Let me see how. Go here, here, here. Right. Now, put you some lines you can work with. Okay, if you own Dixon Pencil Company, go ahead and turn the motor on. If you don't turn the motor on, because why give all your money to Dixon Pencil Company? You will break every point if you turn the motor on. I'd show you that, but I think you can. A parting tool right at center, and I'm just going to do this to establish those pencil marks so I can see them a little bit better. I always tell you, good light. So let me explain something in this deal. In a few minutes, the best light in the world won't help you. The worst will. Tool hard down, tool rest, right to it, 1/16 of an inch away. These are light cuts. You have to look in from the side to see where that cutter stops at. But you will feel it go into the, listen. Did you hear that at the end, that high pitch? This little puppy's getting hot. When you're ordering tools from me, ask for the special extraction tool for this, and I'll be able to sell it to you. It's looks like an Allen wrench, works like an Allen wrench, smells like an Allen wrench, but it's special. You know which holes to go in. You go in the hole and you put a little bit of pressure on that tape. Don't push too hard, because a crack you hear will be your piece coming in too. There you go. A little bit of pressure. Take it out. See how special that extraction tool is? Yeah. Ask for the Harbor Freight version. I can send you a whole pack for like 20 bucks or so, you know. Now, I will take my sandpaper. I just discovered that this is going to take 2 sessions. Now I hate the ones that run on, so I'll start another one, but just so that you can see how the stuff is done on this one. That's eccentric, concentric work, or loop-the-loop, as my wife calls it. How it's done on regular lathe, and then how it's done on an ornamental lathe. So I'm Captain Eddie Castellan. I'm making shavings at Dixon. Next time, number 69, we'll do it on that. Take care.